Are people nitpicking on Logic?
No,
Are they just picking on him?
Logic gives me white vibes. So,
But does that make him a culture vulture to you?
Yo.
It's your boy Vulture. I got my boy
Deezy.
We are the ill-advised wise guys.
Check out the full podcast, link below.
This is the culture vulture one.
Ooh, culture vulture.
Yeah. Well, but what really
Several
makes someone a
industries.
culture vulture? That's the question.
Culture vulture is somebody who sees something that a lot of the people that are doing right now, let's say the popular kids, and trying to emulate it very sloppily, or just trying to emulate it without actually having the experience or living in the culture. They're just trying to emulate it.
Okay.
That would be, to me, a culture vulture. Now, it's funny because when we were talking about this topic, we just automatically brought up culture vultures that were not successful. See, you can be a culture vulture and be successful, or you can be a culture vulture and not be successful.
Correct.
Right? At the end of the day, here we go. I'm going to be nitpicky again. Everybody's technically a culture vulture because everybody steals something from the culture.
This is the ill-advised wise guys.
That's why I said
we are not that type of show, guys.
If you want to be
Ain't nobody being technical. We were on IG Live. I think his name was Knowledge something. But he accurately said, yo, culture vulture is more than just white people. Most people, like, they automatically assume, and that term is only used in hip hop, and it's usually associated with white people when people feel like the white person is not authentic in or isn't really part of the culture. It's usually when you only hear this word. I think culture vulture, to me, the definition would be like somebody who doesn't really live and doesn't have a whole lot of real history of the culture. And more importantly, this is the optional part where they can do it in a distasteful manner. They don't represent the ideals and the morals of this particular community.
Yes.
Somebody who's not from there. If you think of what a vulture does, they prey on the carcass of an animal. They didn't kill that animal, but they came in and got the easy win. They came on the backs of someone who really did the work, and they just swooped right in and just got some of that.
Well said.
I think so. From that standpoint, there's a lot of black people, there's a lot of white people. This is not race related, but people make it that, don't they?
But it's 95% of the time is race related. Let's be real.
No. I'm saying it shouldn't be.
No, I agree. But 95% of the cases, I think, are race related.
100%.
Right?
I think it's more
because
than that. I think it's like 99%.
While you were talking, I was trying to think of people that are black that are culture vultures. But, you know, what I wanted to add to what you said about culture vultures is, first time I heard that comment was Dipset. I believe it was Dame Dash. And at the time, Cameron and Dipset, they were creating culture with the pink, just the flossing, the weird way of speaking of the devil, weird way of rapping that they used. They were creating culture at the time. And I feel like anybody who was trying to step into that culture, they were like, y'all culture vultures. So that's just for me, first time I heard culture vulture. But anyway.
Honestly, first time I ever heard the term used was how people would describe Vanilla Ice. Like ice baby.
Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow.
There's some names that I think have been widely referred to as culture vultures. I would be remiss not to mention them, right? People all the time say Macklemore is a culture vulture.
Okay.
Do I think he's one? I don't know. That's the problem, right? Like, I don't know. What I do know is this. People didn't rock with him after he won Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar in the Grammys. And I'm one of those people who believe Good Kid, Mad City should have won Rap Album of the Year over Macklemore's The Heist.
We all know
that was the beginning of the end for Macklemore.
Yeah.
People widely considered him a culture vulture right after that.
But it's so funny because he wasn't making like cool music.
It was,
like I was telling you this
unorthodox.
off the camera. Macklemore has never been cool. Like Macklemore was making colorful music, colorful hip hop music. He could rap his ass off, but he was never cool. And then I think he tried to fight to prove to people that he was cool.
That was his
So he
mistake.
started making songs. One of my songs I really like, he made a song we had with DJ Premier is pretty good.
When I grew up, criminals were my heroes. The beanie from New Jersey drive over my earlobes.
But he's trying to explain why he grew up on hip hop and, you know, why he does what he does. He's over here talking about, I was in the trap. I was, you know, playing dice with the blah, 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 blah in Seattle.
Which to me is the beginning of an end. I don't think that if you
Shouldn't-
really
you
of
shouldn't
the
have to
culture, you
explain.
should never have to explain yourself.
You shouldn't have to explain.
It should never happen.
You shouldn't have to explain. And
Because your rise should already be documented.
at the end of the day, it's like, you know, the thing that I feel bad for is some of these artists, it doesn't matter. You can tell them you was in the trap clocking in. You can tell them you were doing 9 to 5 shifts in the trap and they still wouldn't believe you. It's funny that you say this topic because Logic came out with an album called College Park. And he's cringe. Did you listen to the intros and the interludes? Jesus. But Logic, that whole album was about his growing up and his come up story in College Park. Even though it's believable. I believe him. I don't need to see his birth certificate.
Hey, Daddy, what you got to say to the world?
Hey, what's going on? It's time to go night-night.
Keep it real all the time, nigga. You already know what it is.
I believe his father was doing crack or whatever he said.
Yeah.
I believe he's mixed. I believe he struggled. I believe he was probably poor. But when he still tries to do a flip of it was a good day,
Cooked a breakfast with no heart.
it just sounds like Culture Vulture to me.
Hey,
Like he can do nothing. He can do a song with ESTG.
all right.
And I still wouldn't believe like he came from the streets or whatever.
So let me ask you, because I'm glad you brought up
Logic
Logic,
don't understand it.
because he is probably the first person we should have brought up. Logic has fans.
Logic is a
Logic,
great rapper.
I like Logic's music. A lot of it, I should say.
He's just cringe, bro.
Yo, we've gotten to the point where people are mad that Logic is using the N-word.
That's bad. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
What the heck? What is going on in these streets, bro?
He's mixed. I heard him say the N-word a couple times in this
Bro,
new
he's
album.
always said the N-word. Are people nitpicking on Logic?
No,
Are they just picking on him?
Logic gives me white vibes. So,
But does that make him a culture vulture to you?
I think he's a culture vulture because I don't think he does culture right. Like,
So-
he tries to do culture right and he'll talk that talk, but there's just something about it that doesn't feel authentic. There's something about it that's missing. He fumbles with culture.
I agree. He gives me white vibes, even though he's mixed and he talks about it all the time. I go to somebody like MGK. You can make an argument MGK is a culture vulture in the punk world.
When he was a rapper, oh God, he was.
Well, I'm just saying.
he was
In,
bad.
I'm saying in the
But-
punk
in the
rock
punk world,
world,
yeah, for sure. They
you
hate
can
him.
make an argument
For sure.
because that's what they call him.
For sure.
They call
They call him
MGK
a
a culture vulture
Yeah,
of
for
that.
sure, for sure.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, although we've narrowed this to hip hop, rap, because that's usually when you hear the word. At least that's when we hear the word. It extends beyond white people, black people. It extends beyond hip hop, rap. This isn't all the other genre. There's people who try to dibble and dabble in these other genres, and the people who are of that culture are like, nah, I'm not rocking with MGK. Get him out of here. I don't think he's doing this justice. There's people who
No, I agree.
I've heard
I know.
the Lil Yachty album get trashed by the people who like alternative rock, what they call psychedelic rock and stuff like that. I've heard people of that culture be like, bro,
Because they've probably heard so many semblances of that type of music that they can actually give you a wider range of opinion on it. My issue with Culture Vulture is it starts to sway people towards the person that doesn't deserve the recognition. Like if MGK is selling records like 200K, 300K first week off of this new sound that he just kind of fell on his lap after, his rap career didn't pan out the way he wanted it to. It's not fair because there was people in the industry that was working 10, 15, 20 years making that kind of music that never got their time to shine, And then now people think when they think of Dream Pop and they think of all this stuff, they're pointing to him. That's the problem, in my opinion, with Culture Vulture. Luckily, that doesn't really happen with hip hop as much, but if I was a rock star or what, alternative rock or whatever he does, I would be mad.
I always wonder if rock fans consider rappers who consider themselves rock stars culture vultures. I always wondered that. Like
They can.
But would they be right to say, yo, man, hey, stop stealing our
They'll
freaking
call 'em racist.
culture?
They'll call them racist. If it's the white rock star, right? White rock people, they'll call white. They'll be, oh man, what, a black person can't do rock?
I'm a rock star. Like how you
Like-
rock?
like, let's be real. I'm gonna be-
They be like, yo, how you rock star? You don't even make rock music, bro. You make hip hop.
I'm
Stop
going to
being,
be
how you a rock star?
completely honest with you.
Go ahead.
Ill-advised take. I thought the combo about Lil Nas X talking about is Old Town Road is a country song.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't agree. Like, it's not a country song. Or if you're going to call it a country song, that is a mockery of a country song. Now, my thing is,
That's a hot take. I don't like that take.
I
though.
got the
I don't like
got
that take
the
though.
horses on the neck. Something more like it sounded like a joke. If let's say a white artist, right,
Okay.
who looks like the dude that plays Spider-Man or something, right,
Okay.
came into the hip hop game talking about I'm in the trap with the this that, and it sounds like a complete mockery of trap music. I guess you'll still call it trap music, but I'll call it a mockery of trap music.
Listen, bro.
Old Town Road sounds like a mockery of country music.
A mockery?
He was a culture vulture that did it unsuccessfly, but he was able to get money and he was able to blow up off it. I like that song.
So again, before the episode started, I named him.
Mm-hmm.
I said you can consider Lil Nas X a culture vulture, and it was for exactly the reasons you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would I full blown call him that? Yeah, probably. But do I think the song is a mockery? Listen,
in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't know if I go that straight. But do I think do I think he was vulturing off for the country genre? You goddamn right.
Yeah,
you goddamn right. And I don't even think it's debatable. To be honest,
based on all the country songs I've
Goddamn
heard
right.
in my life, that sounded like an SNL skit. Just keep it 100.
yo,
like,
bro. If a white person,
Rich Brian, is that his name? Rich Brian or Rich Chicka? He used to be called Rich Chicka.
He changed his name.
Rich
Yo,
Chicka,
yeah, changed his
remember
name.
him?
Yeah, of course.
He sounded like a mockery of hip hop music.
Even you niggas no fair when I hit him. Every time I see it big, I don't hesitate to kill him. Ain't nobody give a fuck about a rule.
But the only thing, like I was saying on the first segment, the only thing about Rich Brian is that he can actually rap his ass off. He had that to rely on. Oh, I can rap though. But he sounds like a mockery of a lyricist.
Here's where Lil Nas X effed up. If he legit actually gave a damn about whether or not he was considered a culture vulture and he was truly trying to blend genres and stuff like that, why haven't we not heard any country songs since? Like, I think,
But it doesn't matter. He can make a country song, whatever. He can make one and then one and done.
yeah, you can, but like it doesn't add to the belief that it was
solidify.
legit.
But
it don't add to it.
To his defense, he's not running around calling himself a country star. Like, if he was running around calling himself a country star, then yeah, that's a problem. But like, he's not calling. He just made one country song. Like, that's cool. Young Thug made a country song.
About
Yeah,
2-3 songs on there was
he made a
freaking
country song.
phenomenal.
Like, and it was good.
Yo,
he ain't calling himself a country star. At least I
you
don't think he
guys
is.
slept on Beautiful Thugger Girls. I'm sorry.
Listen to the full episode. Link below.